everyone. This is Wesley over at Cans Headphones. I am here with the Pretty Voices over in Florida, and they are a kick-ass indie alt little group that does some pretty killer, what they call radio rock singles. And I know you guys hear me harp on it every once in a while. You got to keep those songs short and sweet, and they do a great job of doing that. And you guys will see that coming up into the few weeks that they get a chance to put their music out there for you. But in the meantime, I'm going ahead and give them a chance to introduce themselves. Uh, I guess I'll start with the lead singer. Go ahead.
Hey, my name's Nick. I sing for the Pretty Voices. Get to play guitar too.
My name is Roger, and I am the bass player and chief organizer and scribe for Pretty Voices, and of course, bass player, the glue that holds everything together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I caught wind that we're missing a little bit of glue tonight, though. Nick, tell us who we're missing tonight.
We are missing Mike and Matt. Mike's the lead guitar player, stick in the mud extraordinaire, lovely fellow with great chops. Matt is the drummer. Matt is an atomic time clock, man. We are very fortunate to have him. Reasonable, thoughtful, steady Eddie. Great guy to have in your band.
Perfect. That's perfect. I know that's one thing that everyone's always hurting for is a drummer who can keep time, right? Well, then how did you guys come about meeting? I know you guys say that you're from Tampa, Florida, pretty much every chance you get. Are we all from Tampa? Is that where we met?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody's from St. Pete. Well, Mike and I live in St. Pete, and Nick and Matt live on the other side of the bay in Tampa.
Okay.
And back, what was it, 2009? Our current lineup isn't the original lineup. We originally had another guitar player and another drummer, and Nick had known the original guitar player, and they had played in a band, and I had played in a garage rock band about 15 years ago with a drummer, and that band had broken up, and I was kind of out of the loop, and he started jamming with Nick and Dan, original guitar player, and then he dragged me in to start playing with him, and then we practiced and wrote a set list of songs and learned some covers and started playing out.
All through the magic of Craigslist.
That's right.
And it didn't implode.
That's I tell you, that's how I got my first few gigs at Craigslist. It's a magical website.
2011, I believe, Dan left the band, and we recruited Mike Whitaker, who was a guitar player from St. Pete that I'd known through a couple of other bands, and he joined. And about the time he was joining, Chris left as the drummer, and Matt, as a lot of drummers on scenes do, plays in several bands. And so he was down to, I think, one or no bands. And so we asked him to fill in on a show just last minute. And he literally, I think we may have had one practice with him, and it was awesome. So we talked him into joining. And that's been our lineup since.
That's reliable though, when a drummer can pull it off like that. Like, that's a good sign.
Yeah, we've been crazy lucky, man. We're talking about years, and I think I've missed one practice in how many years? It's important. It's the best night of the week, man. So nobody misses it.
Really? That's awesome. That's awesome. I know the band I work for, they're like, oh, practice. So it's like a tight-knit group.
Yeah. When it comes to Thursday nights, man, we're there.
That's so cool, though. And then I know you guys have kind of said a little bit that you guys are pretty familiar with practicing. I mean, Roger was kind of like from the garage band scene a little bit. So tell me a little bit of what performances are like for you guys in the normal days.
It's pretty variable, man.
Yeah, we've done everything from playing last, and then you know the unwritten rule is if you're an out of town band, you don't play last. And we've been stuck at last, and everybody that came to see the local bands left, and we played to like 3 people to the other end of the spectrum.
Right.
The other end of the spectrum.
Blondie and Devo, Soul Asylum, Pete Puppet. Yeah. So,
yeah, playing to 5,000 people. So
Been back and forth for you, yeah.
been some diversity, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
no,
though.
it's we have a good time. I mean, it's fun. I mean, we all enjoy hanging out at practice, and I get accused sometimes of we'll have a practice and it's 45 minutes of practice and an hour and 15 minutes of hanging out and drinking beer and shooting the shit. So
you did see our post, our amazing review of pumpkin beers every October. That's an important practice event that rolls around. And then
yes, we do a Christmas beer review as well, and we post it on our Facebook page. We rank them.
Really post hyperbole and go over the top. This beer tastes like the cat pissed in the Christmas tree. Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. So you guys really know how to have a good time regardless.
Well, that's the point, man. You got to show your audience how to have a good time, or they're going to sit there and mope around, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The gigs they can be all over the map, but when the sound guys are on and it sounds like the rock gods just smiled upon you, it's the best thing in the world, man. You can't beat that.
I feel that. So are you guys still practicing with all the COVID stuff? Just not doing all the performances as much?
Yeah, well,
yeah, we are. On occasion, we actually we were in the middle of recording the record when the whole COVID hit, and so we took a break for a couple of months until everything kind of sorted itself out and people were comfortable with getting back together. And luckily we had recorded most of the tracks, and it was more of a mixing and mastering thing. So we kind of we took that time, since we couldn't play shows, we took that time to focus on that, because we've had these songs for a while, and every time Nick wanted to record, I'd be like, hey, I just booked 7 more shows, so we got to focus on that. So I didn't have that to fall back on, because I've recorded 2 records with my previous band, and this was our 3rd, and I'm really not a fan of recording. I hadn't been, and for multiple reasons, but I just was kind of dreading it. But this was probably the most fun I've had recording. It was, where we recorded was the nicest studio I've recorded in.
Yeah,
the guy's a pro. It was a fun experience, and so now we've just started talking about getting back into a regular practice schedule, and start with an eye towards maybe playing a show towards the end of the year.
Yeah, promote the album, world tour. That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Go for the sellout, right? It's all for broke now. I like that though. It's good I think that's what's important right now, is a lot of people are putting plans together for, kind of keeps the head on straight. Like, all right, we got a game plan. Let's get it done now, right? So then I think one of the things that I really like about your guys' music is that just the heavy rock influence. It's been a long time, I think. I don't want to say a long time, but it's been a few years since I've heard a good band that just stays true to rock without being a cover band. You guys do it's all original music. I've seen a couple of covers on your Facebook page, but all your albums and stuff are from you guys. What's your big inspiration for those?
Man, writing the perfect 3-minute power pop song. And we clearly get very distracted by a lot of influences, man. But that's the goal.
Right.
We will actually, when we're finishing a song, Nick will actually record it on his phone, and then we have to look at the timer at the end, because Mike Whitaker, our guitar player, is the disciple of under 3 minutes. And so we'll be like, well, it came in at 2:57.
He's like, yeah, no problem. I can cut my lead part down. I'll just shorten it.
Do we really need 3 verses?
But yeah, there are no sprawling guitar leads. There's no jam rock ever. It's get to
That's
the point,
wild.
get the hell off, and make them wish it was longer, man.
Really? He's got, what's his second job? I can't be a lead guitar player full time because I don't know any lead guitar players that are like, less lead, that's fine. Yeah, I turn it down, cool. Yeah, cut it shorter, fine.
No, but he's so damn tasty. It is, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a really good, I have a tin ear. He has a really fantastic ear.
Mhm.
That's a real blessing for us, having him be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. We're fortunate.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for you guys. I mean, definitely it's a blessing that his ego doesn't get in the way there. And he, yeah, like you said, he's tasty. Like you get on the actual, like when you hear him on the track, it's not like there's not enough of him. You know, he finds a good way to just like, all right, if we need less time, I'm gonna put a little more in, and you can tell.
Yeah, rock and roll is a hard thing, man. There's not much of it. Like indie music today, I kind of don't recognize. I mean, it's cool. There's a lot of emotion in it and stuff, but sometimes you want to hear the bass beat drop and have some kerrang of distorted guitar. And I don't know, without it being like completely heavy metal, like just being like a pop oriented, man. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Roger, I mean, do you play a kind of role, and so you're helping write those songs? Do you tend to overshoot that 3 minute mark, or are you pretty much on the money there?
No, I mean, everything on the record is between 2.5 to 3.5. I mean, I think our longest song times in at about 4 minutes, but
Yeah.
That's our opus. That's our all in opus.
Was Mike hard on that one? Was he hard pressed for that?
No, he actually, it's funny because that particular song, I think it was Duplicity. I think we had a third verse, and that's when he started.
He was like, yeah, no, that's much too long.
So we actually came up with a cool kind of little breakdown in it at the end and cut the third verse out. And it's still longer than 3 minutes. It's a compromise. So
Yeah. Radio edits, right? That's what they're for.
There was potty mouth in there. We had to edit that out.
No birds.
Yeah.
I hear you. And so I guess at some point you guys made your album, and you're like, you know what? Let's keep putting them out there. You know.
Well, I think we'd all been in other projects before. I mean, I know Mike has been in bands since high school, and he actually played with some bands that toured nationally. And Matt, kind of same thing. He's been in a ton of bands, and we've all played in other projects. But
right,
this thing all came together, and it was kind of, I mean, everybody's got grounded lives to the point where nobody's a mess, and everybody kind of gets along, and we do stuff together outside of just playing music too. We all kind of hang out, and everybody gets along, so it's easier that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we've been together for 10 years. So but I think that once Nick sings the songs, and it's been hard for me. I've written songs for the band more in the past than I did this time, but it just, for me, it's a little tougher for me to put them out there. You're laying yourself out there when you write a song, and you're saying, hey, well, here's, this is my song. And that's part of my cop out, is I never write anything really serious. It's all tongue in cheek, or it's kind of it's a story, but it's not really, it's not from the heart. It's just about a situation. Or, I mean, the song that I wrote the lyrics to on this album are about a fridge that I had in college that I had beer in. So, it's easier for me to do that and not say, this is who I really am. It's like, no, here's a fridge I had in 1987.
I have no shame.
Yeah, Nick doesn't care.
That's good, but can you dial it back? Because you're embarrassing even us. The lyrics are
It's all about the expression, right? It's all about the vessel. I feel that.
Well, and that's, and you know, when I was saying before, I didn't, you know, I'm not a fan of recording. I'm totally a fan of playing out, because that's, to me, the epitome of what we're doing. And that's why, you know, that I basically will put the whole show together for us. We'll get together and get a date that we can all agree that we can all play, and then I'll find a venue, and we'll put together we just don't jump on a bill. We'll just say, okay, what would be a fun night for what are two other bands I want to play with that I want to hang out with and listen to
Yeah.
their music. It's really good. And so, because we only typically will play out when we're going about once or twice a month. So it's like a night out too. So it's like you want to have as much fun as you can.
Yeah.
And I think that comes across when we play, because
Yeah.
Nick's really a great front man. He's, Whitaker never moves, but Nick's jumping around the stage, and I move a little bit, and I sing most of the backup stuff. And,
Yeah.
and I'm the king of the one-liners for us, so I'm the comedic relief. So, and Matt just sits there in the back looking cool. He's the drummer, and
As drummers
he's
tend
always
to
got
do.
the girlfriend taking pictures of him the whole time
Yep.
he's playing. It's fun.
Sounds right. Sounds right. It's every drummer I know.
Mhm.
I get that from your music when I listen to it, that you guys are just a fun time in general. I'm looking forward to more, hoping that it hits a little closer to home for you, Roger, while the band still has a great time with it. What can we look forward to from you guys outside of hopefully a live performance at the end of the year? Tell us a little more about what you're working on for this year.
Well, I mean, we just put out our record, American Curls. It's 11 songs. They're all originals, and
Awesome.
we have that available basically digitally right now, and we have CDs that'll be available probably within about 2 weeks, and then we're gonna probably do a vinyl run. We're gonna run a couple hundred full-length LPs. We spent a lot of time, probably a lot more time than we should have, on the cover art. I mean, in the front and the back. So the front of the album is a photo. Actually, it's a drawing that someone had done, a local St. Pete artist named Chad Mize, and he did a chewing gum collection. And he did Big Red, and this girl had big bushy hair, was blowing a bubble, and had sunglasses on. It looked very late, 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's kind of where we get put a lot of times, that we're like a late 70s, early 80s kind of New York, gritty New York band, like Television or Wire, or Jim Carroll band, something like that.
Yeah,
And
definitely that vibe.
I hate being accused of being derivative, but if those are the sounds in my head and that's the way it comes out, so be it.
Yeah, right. It's just how it sounds.
I know.
Well, and
Correlations, not causation.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because like, if you listen to the songs on we did an EP in what was it, Nick? Like 2011 was the first little EP we did. And if you listen to those songs compared to these songs, we were more of a garage band at first, and then we got kind of more into jangle pop sound. And I mean, our first full album was called Jangular, which was kind of a play on words. And then this one, I think this one just has a lot more power pop, a lot more muscle to it.
Yeah, I feel that. I think one that sticks out in my head most of the time when I think about you guys is Brittany. I think that's the name of that one. Definitely a lot of that, I guess, edgy New York rock. Please don't hurt me. I know I put my website, so it's not hard to find me. But I think I did a little bit of listening on the tracks that you guys sent me, and they definitely, I think, the right way to say it is stand out more than the last one. more put together, just as an ensemble. You know, you guys sound um, not, I don't want to say worth the wait, but it's like it's just more put together. It's just more there, if that makes sense, in a musical way.
Yeah, it's
Well, I'm
got
glad it's
punch.
it's worth.
Yeah, it's definitely better. It's much punchier, man.
Yeah, that's it right there. It just kind of, you know, jabs a little harder, and I feel like it's gonna give people more reason to like just get up and move around, you know.
Yeah, like you said, the worth of wait. The first record, the first full length, took us 5 years to do, and this one took us 4 years to do to get around to recording it. So we don't, we're not Ryan Adams. We don't slap out 2, 3 albums a year. So
No, definitely. I think that I don't know, so long as the work goes into it and you can feel the genuinity behind it, that's what's important. And you guys definitely have that. So I just look forward to what's coming next. Definitely, I look forward to getting this in front of more people. Is there anything you guys want to say before we sign off on all that?
yeah, just give us a listen. You know, we've got this one coming out. If you're in the greater Central Florida area sometime after the first of the year and you see one of our flyers floating around, come check us out.
Wax poetically for an hour. I think we said it on the album. We just got to get it in front of folks and get their ears on it. It's
Yeah.
fun and definitely worth your time. I don't know. We're always working on new music, but then it comes down to when do you have enough songs to record. We're not like doing them one at a time in the bedroom. It's a whole band experience. Everybody's playing live for the basic tracks,
Yeah.
then just adding lead guitar and stuff otherwise. So yeah, it might be a while till we have another like a couple of songs ready. So of the stuff we've recorded, some of them we haven't even played live yet, but look forward to that.
So I think what I'm hearing is if you want to catch something new, we better come see you live before we wait around for a new album.
You'll always see it new live first, man. Those songs get honed before they're recorded. We work out the bugs, man.
But there y'all heard it. Make sure you go check out Pretty Voices live if you're in the Central Florida area, and make sure to catch their new album, their old album, and everything coming. All right. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Roger. It's been a pleasure talking to y'all. Hope to get a word from Matt and Mike soon, and we'll look forward to working with y'all. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one, y'all. Bye.
See you, man.